That's right. Sorry, the voice is struggling. That's right. Welcome back. Welcome in, folks, to a 5 big picture takeaways from the Irish now that the regular season's completed edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. Hit subscribe on YouTube if you haven't yet. Appreciate that very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Appreciate that as well. Notifications on. You'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can find me. Call in line 312-988-15. Now that the regular season's over, there's a lot of big picture stuff in play to break down. Give me a call. We'll talk it all through. Fighting Irish Wire, make it a part of your daily Notre Dame media routine. Good stuff going there all the time, year round. Doesn't matter that season's over. So, the USC game's over. Notre Dame's wild, up and down, roller coaster season's over. What do we make of it all? We have this period of time now between now and the bowl game. Sit, stew on things, ask ourselves some tough questions. What are 5 things I think I've taken away now that we're at the end of this year one? Here they are. Number 1. Now, you guys don't have to agree with these. This is my list. You don't have to agree. If you don't, let me know. Number 1, I think I've seen enough in Marcus Freeman to believe there's higher upside with him than Kelly at Notre Dame. The talent's got to get better, all this. Yeah, I get it. Clemson alone showed me an extra gear this guy could get out of his guys I never saw out of Kelly. Now, I get that Clemson win doesn't look that good anymore. At the moment, it did, though. We're not playing that game now. At the moment, they were undefeated in line for the playoff. So I have a hard time retroactively dinging us credit on that when in that moment, they were undefeated top 4. But it's the way it looked and the way it felt gives me hope that when the roster's in a better place and some of the other issues on my list get figured out, Freeman will be able to go to that well again to get that extra level of play out of his guys when they need it in a big game. Didn't happen against USC for a bunch of reasons, but at least you had one in there this year. Look at it this way. Kelly was at Notre Dame over a decade. He had 2 top 5 wins in that whole time. Freeman has one of them in year 1 right away. How is that already not tell you there's a different level of upside? So I just think he could reach a different gear and get that out of our guys more than Kelly. I believe that after what I see and feel after 1 year. Number 2, the quarterback issue is the biggest one holding the program back. It's just got to be figured out. I'm sick of unknowns, potential, maybe, development, kick it down the road. We've tried it all. It's just not been good enough. So whatever that looks like, it's a glaring number 1 issue. Gotta figure it out. I appreciate Pine's effort, toughness, Notre Dame-iness, all of it. Tries his best. He's a backup for a reason. I don't know what I have in Buckner, Angeli, Minchie, none of them. It's an issue. It's got to get figured out. Whether that's big arm transfer guy this year, then you get into the young guys you think have elite upside, let them compete, whatever. But it's on my list because my patience has run out. I have no more patience for Notre Dame quarterback issues. We make it harder than it has to be to get great play out of this group, and that needs to end. Number 3, overall roster development. This roster was not a playoff roster this year, in my opinion. There's a lot of depth and flipping over this roster that's going to happen in the next 2 recruiting classes. Let it go. Let's go. This talent, I say it every show, going to say it again. What you saw out of Notre Dame this year is the least amount of talent and depth Freeman's ever going to have at Notre Dame. That's a good sign. We need that roster to flip. Let more speed get in there. Receivers, fill the gaps. This was patchwork this year because it had to be. Get that roster flipped. Get these recruiting classes going. Top 5 recruiting classes. Let's go. Number 4, the on-off switch. Everybody who follows Notre Dame knows you never knew what you were going to get this year. Are we going to show up, not show up, play good, play terrible? What are we going to get? Week to week, you never knew. That's an issue. That's an issue. Stanford, Marshall, nobody saw those coming. Clemson, nobody probably saw that coming either. It's an issue. The wild inconsistencies are an issue. You got to, by you, I mean Freeman. He's got to try and identify why we had trouble turning it on and off and being ready to go at all times. Is that first year figuring things out? I don't know what causes it, but you can't live that way. Year one's year one. People are going to be forgiving of some inconsistencies in the midst of so much change. That needs to level off moving forward. So Freeman's got to try and figure out why we had these big waves of just good play, bad play, whatever. It's a big deal. Find that stability. And the final thing, I know we have the bowl game, but then Marcus Freeman really has to get to work. Looking at the year, looking at what happened, looking at the staff, and he's got to be evaluated. Where are we at in all these areas versus where I want us to be? And if they're not where we want to be, why? And how do we get there? Freeman's got a lot to look at. Tommy Rees, the quarterback recruits love him. The families love him. Is he just back? Or does Freeman really look at it and wonder, do I need new eyes on this? That's the most glaring example. So there's a lot in the mix here. And a lot of these items Freeman could not tend to in the middle of the year, where it's chaos week to week, stacked together. He's about to enter a stretch where life will slow down. And then he needs to take a look at all this stuff. So 5 big picture things for me. I have seen evidence that there's going to be more upside of whatever the group is, that Freeman could get more out of it than we had before. 2, quarterback, biggest issue, got to figure it out. 3, general roster development, getting better talent and depth, that's coming. The on-off switch, that's an issue. Having no level of consistency most of the year. And then finally, Freeman's name and coaching reputation is wrapped into this. He's got to take an honest look at that staff and decide who stays, who goes, and why. It's not Freeman's job to be people's friend. He's got to find a way to win games. So as we sit right now, those are the 5 big picture things I see of where we're at right now and what has to be looked at right now. What do you guys think? What did I miss? What's on your list that wasn't on mine? Let me know.